Later Germans had problems with the two big waves of typhus. And they know part of this was just later paradox was that sometimes assassins themselves started dying because of this, because of such kind of conditions. So later authorities were forced to improve conditions, not for prisoners, for Germans themselves. Remember, my great uncle was spending, now I know little about him, I don't know in which barrack he was kept in Birkenau, but he was here, believe me. He spent here 1 year, 1 year and a half, it doesn't matter. He survived Auschwitz. But I have to say, so what? Because he died in another concentration camp. Remember, a couple of days before the liberation, many of these prisoners who could walk on foot were evacuated from Auschwitz. Many of them. Also my great uncle, he was moved to Gross-Rosen, nearby Wrocław, 250 kilometers, and he had to go on foot, 250 kilometers, where he died, in Gross-Rosen, probably a couple of weeks before the end of the war. But he survived Auschwitz. It doesn't matter. Many of these prisoners who were evacuated from Auschwitz, who survived also this evacuation process, died in another concentration camps. To many of those evacuated prisoners, horror started once more in another concentration camps. Russians liberated in Auschwitz only 7,500 totally sick prisoners. Because of the diseases, part of them died quickly, a couple of days after the liberation, sometimes a couple of months after the liberation. Also, doctors had problems how to handle these prisoners from this concentration camp. Well, of course, two provisional camp hospitals were established for them by doctors from the Polish Red Cross and the Red Army. And don't forget about another problem. It is a big problem. It still exists. Post-traumatic stress, post-traumatic disorder. They will never be the same persons. They are stigmatized to the end of their lives. Remember. But the difference is that these prisoners, we have knowledge, okay, but they had experience. It's completely different point of view. Only these prisoners who survived Auschwitz, who survived another concentration camps, really know what happened here. Once I met a former prisoner. Do you remember that prisoner we met today? In Auschwitz I, Kazimierz Piechowski. What happened to him? Remember, this is one of the famous escapes from Auschwitz I. 4 prisoners, including Kazimierz Piechowski, 3 from Poland, 1 from the Ukrainian, and decided to escape from that camp. Of course, they risked their lives, but they tried to escape. At least theoretically, they had more chances. One of them would deal with SS cars. Another Polish prisoner, Kazimierz Piechowski, knew no problem. Another prisoner knew where SS soldier uniforms, pistols were stored. And the last one knew that he might be liquidated at the wall of death in Auschwitz. So he wanted to escape from Auschwitz at all costs. Yeah? Preparations lasted many weeks. And finally, they managed to steal SS car. They used SS uniforms, and as high-ranked officers, guys in disguise, they got into the car and they escaped from Auschwitz in June 1942, saying goodbye. And they survived the war, all of them. Kazimierz Piechowski still lives in Gdańsk. But remember, it wasn't happy end. Mothers of 2 of those escapees were sent to Auschwitz, and they died because their sons had escaped from the camp. So in my opinion, it wasn't happy end. But what happened to Kazimierz Piechowski, you met half an hour ago, this is a stupid stuff. What happened to him after the war? Imagine, Kazimierz Piechowski escaped from Auschwitz in June 1942. And to the end of the war, he was a member, also, like many Poles, he was a member of Polish Home Army. The problem is that Polish Home Army never accepted Stalin as the liberator. Remember, if someone tells you that Polish people accepted communism willingly, he's a liar. Many Poles never accepted Stalin. We accepted our Polish government in exile in London. Not government of Polish puppets Stalin prepared later. No. Of course, what we could have done at that time is another problem. Everything was done by force. But many Poles never accepted, remember, communism. Also Kazimierz Piechowski, escapee from Auschwitz. Remember, escapee from Auschwitz, former member of Polish Home Army, spent another 10 years, not 10 days, 10 years in communist prisons. That's not, you know. 10 years in communist prison. So he escaped from one hell to another one. Poland never was liberated by Lebanon. That's why for me he's a hero, remember. Another example, one of the Poles, former prisoner from Auschwitz, saw funeral. Probably happened a couple weeks after the liberation. A funeral. To me, this is a moving moment. Coffin, praying people, following this. Coffin, not looking at the situation, he asked himself with irony, sorry, I don't understand why they're crying. Why they're crying? It's only one fucking body. Someone who saw piles of dead bodies like he did could react in such kind of way after the war. Of course, from our point of view, he was a good man. Don't forget about post-traumatic stress. They will never be the same persons. But only these prisoners really know what happened here. And sometimes prisoners don't want to talk about what happened here now. Sorry, to me, it's closed period of time. No discussions what happened here. And also, this is how that post-traumatic stress works. Let's continue our visiting. I will show you now movies of the